Forgotten Wild West Desperado, Zip Wyatt. So the man who goes with the names Dick Yeager, Wild Charlie or Zip Wyatt, was a natural-born disaster and a notorious outlaw of Oklahoma. Definitely not your typical Wild West desperado, for he was reported being killed from several encounters that later turned out to be somebody else. These encounters will be recounted, and you'll discover more about him after watching this video. So without further ado, here's the story of Zip Wyatt. Before the man robbed stores, post offices, farms, and ranches, Nathaniel Ellsworth Wyatt was a young boy born from a ragged and impoverished family in Indiana. Life back then was far from easy, so his parents decided to move miles northeast, looking for a better opportunity until settling in Oklahoma. There, both his father and brother had built up some unwanted popularity. One was called Old Shooter Bill, while the other was Six Shooter Jack. Eventually, Nathaniel followed their footsteps and got his moniker for his bad habits as Zip. Well, despite the urges and thrill of starting wild adventures, Zip still managed to live a normal life, at least for a short time. He entered marriage and was blessed to have a daughter and finally a family of his own. It's just that things would turn sour when he could no longer keep his fiery temper and started recklessly shooting at the town of Mulhall, wounding 2 citizens during his frenzy. Soon, a group of deputies were at his doorsteps, so he immediately fled to Kansas, hence starting his outlaw journey. He started ransacking anyone from stores, farms, and ranches for supplies while fleeing from the law. But he was soon tracked down by a deputy. With the devil's luck, during the encounter, Zip was only grazed with minor wounds, while the latter became his first casualty. By killing a deputy, he angered many, and a bounty of $1,000 was placed over his head. Later on, he tried to lay low in Indiana with his relatives, but was soon arrested. But while on his way to be tried in Oklahoma, he managed to escape twice and eventually bumped with another felon, Ike Black, and became an infamous duo. The two spread terror in Oklahoma as they robbed banks, stores, and even the post office was not spared. At one time, they even joined the Doolin Dalton gang in the famous Rock Island train robbery. Zip's infamy for conducting numerous robberies had soon reached the point where every crime committed in the territory was blamed on him, earning him a $5,000 bounty for his capture, dead or alive. That's why during the Rock Island incident, a deputy mistook somebody as Zip, shooting at point blank. But after a closer examination, that dead man was actually Tulsa Jack. The duo continued their crimes even until their pursuant reached almost 200 men. While the two were on the run, many heard the news that Zip was finally brought to justice and was killed by a posse. But just like how the two always got lucky to escape, that encounter was indeed another blunder, as they mistook a group of young farmers to be Zip and Ike. But eventually, Ike was killed, and Zip was finally cornered. While being fatally wounded, he believed that he would be nursed back to health, so he surrendered. It's just that he was gravely mistaken, as he was left untreated to die with a miserable death. You have just discovered the amazing story of the notorious outlaw Zip Wyatt. So click this and discover another amazing story about the Apache Kid.